Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian from Whisper Status 74, and today my video is about An American Werewolf in London. And the reason why we're doing a video on it is it's one of the films that I really want to see in 4K or on 4K Blu-ray. I really want to see this film brought to this format of HDR and increased resolution and better black level and better colors. Typically, we talk about double dipping on the channel as far as buying films that you have already owned. And the best part of audio, video, home theater is purchasing older films and bringing them into this new format and see them improved and better than ever. With 4K, we've kind of hit a wall where some films don't look much better. But the reason I like some of these older films is perhaps they weren't the best transfer to begin with. I have American Werewolf in London on HD DVD. That's what you're looking at here. And again, one of my favorite films. I saw it on cable as a child. And we all know the films that we really want to see on this format. We know we want to see our Jaws and our Exorcist. What I'm looking for from you guys is give me the obscure film that maybe isn't the most popular, that a lot of you maybe haven't seen, and what's your favorite that you hope to see on 4K and then on the 4K Blu-ray format. The first video I did on this series is The Crow. Go back and check that one out. The American Werewolf in London, for those of you that haven't seen it, is what it sounds like. You have two American students backpacking, as us Americans love to do, going to random places on foot. Shout out to my UK crew. This movie really does blend comedy with horror. And the movie is scary in comparison to a lot of current films. It is a werewolf film, so it is supernatural. But it does have that appropriate comedy between two friends and lighthearted, realistic comedy where it's not just slapstick, ha ha. It does have its place in what would seem like an unreal scenario. There are very tense, scary moments and has perhaps the best sounding and best looking werewolf in cinema history, including the newer films where they rely on CG. But the makeup from the legendary Rick Baker, who actually mentored and helped the legendary Rob Bottin from The Thing, has the best werewolf, in my opinion, in movie history. And the way that it transforms, spoiler, it is a werewolf movie, has yet to be surpassed, and that it looks painful and it looks like you would think it would really feel. I mean, really, really organic, amazing makeup that still has not been beaten to this day. The film has an extremely small cast, and it's really all it needs. It doesn't get bogged down in complexity. At the time, there were plenty of films that were just simple, direct, and the acting between all of them is seamless. As far as the two friends, it really does have that buddy comedy feel, as well as the nurse and the inspectors. There is some comedy there as well. It's just very, very well done, and the nurse is beautiful. You'd seen her later in, I believe, in Captain America Civil War. You'll see her on the panel. If you look for her there, check her out on Wikipedia. But excellent cast, really, really believable, and there is some sadness and love there as well. There are some dream sequences that are excellent, and some of them actually seem a little bit out of place, but they do add to the horror element. I won't show you too much simply because I don't want to give any of the film away in terms of little things that pop up here and there. I can't show you much due to copyright anyway, but take my word for it. This is a movie worth watching if you haven't, and one of the movies that I really need to see in 4K. As the 1080p transfer was earlier in its life cycle, being that it was on HD DVD, which is now defunct. I'm not sure if it made it to Blu-ray. I'm pretty certain it did. Maybe perhaps a little stripped down, but the transfer was very soft. It's definitely passable, but definitely has a very strong grain structure, and I'm not sure it's because of natural grain structure or if it was just filmed on a cheaper, film at the time, or the quality of the film, something similar to Predator. Meaning, I'm not sure if it was the transfer or the stock that it was filmed on, if it was particular quality or not. The transformation you're seeing has been redone a million times, but Rick Baker does an incredible job. And there's nothing like practical effects, especially when it comes to makeup. And I mean, this movie is just unreal as far as its detail and how the werewolf looks. And you can really feel the pain in both the actors' portrayal of it and just the makeup effects that really do sell it as being real. Fans of The Thing will absolutely love this presentation in terms of makeup, as Rick Baker did help Rob Bottin, who did that film. What I mean by that is the organic part of the makeup and the painstaking textures of the skin and the hair that even upon closer inspection look real. And that's something that I think will look better in 4K than it even does here, as it doesn't really use the resolution as a crutch. I mean, it will look good, cleaner. I'm not saying it needs to be crystal clear or anything like that, just something boosting it a little better, something that I'm really looking for, especially with some HDR added to it, would really help the film out a lot. Now, watching this movie recently and in the last few years, it's more than just my memory. This film does hold up very well, between the revolutionary use of camera following down the hallway, giving you the first-person view of the werewolf. Still holds up after all these years, and it's not just something that I look back on lovingly and am blind to. My wife will tease me that, wow, this movie sucks, if she sees me watching a classic horror film. There are certain films that do hold up. There are certain ones that were just silly and don't hold up well except in our hearts. This is not one of them. This movie stands up today, especially in terms of its, like I said, its makeup, but it is scary. There are those moments where you do feel like you're the one running and that you're alone. And it really does such a great job of conveying that hopelessness and that suspense, while adding that little bit of comedy that seems appropriate. Back to the actors, you will recognize some of them, especially you guys in the UK will see some of these actors from time to time. Even then, I recognize some of them from other films, Alien 3 and some other films later on. But again, they sell it. Whether they're classic actors or not, they do sell that despair, which really helps the whole film feel, again, like it's genuine, like it's real. Now, while not looking hyper-realistic in stills, it still is impressive. And I want to talk about the sound really quickly, as the growl and the sounds of the werewolf, to me, are the best I've ever heard in any film. And they're unforgettable and have been used in other films and cartoons after, but they do sound amazing. The surround in the Blu-ray is decent, or the HDVD is decent, but it definitely has that creepy spatial awareness that you want from surround sound. I'd love to see that in Dolby Atmos or a 7.1 surround mix. That would be amazing for a new 4K transfer. So that's my take on American Werewolf in London, one of my favorite films of all time. And please let me know if you've seen the film, if it's a movie that you do want to see on 4K Blu-ray, or if it's a movie that you haven't seen and are interested in it. Also in the comments, what films or what obscure small films do you hope get the 4K treatment? We have all the usual suspects, but are there any out there that you really hope make it there that aren't on the tip of everyone's tongue or in the front of everybody's mind? American Werewolf in London, again, one of my favorites. If you have not seen it, track it down. It might be available on YouTube. Order it. It's an amazing film. And if you do see it on my recommendation, tell me what you think about it. Or if you have seen it and you have loved it, or have loved it, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think and your thoughts on this amazing film. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.